Okay, today is, I believe, day 5. There's been days in between that I've been working on the project but not taping. So all my days that are numbered on the project are actually days where I'm out in the community where I'm actually taping for this project. So last night I started working with the poetry and trying to match it up with the theory, and every single one of my poems goes over, pretty much touches on every theorist that I have. So I decided, since I already posted, that I would talk about the one particular poem that the gentleman from Jamaica was reading in the mall yesterday. That I would talk about this poem and this poem only because I've read all the poems. And as I go through each of the theorists, I'll try to match the poems up. So I'm going to go back after this session and number my poems according to how they're numbered on the site. This way you can navigate through my blog and refer to the poems as you wish. And I will post later links, MLA citation to which theorist I'm using. This way, if you're interested in following up on it, then you're more than welcome to. I'm going to be talking a little off the cuff about different theorists, because as I read through and revisit each one of these theorists that I have worked with in the past, such as Althusser, Adorno, Horkheimer, Hall, Bell, Cavell, lots of names just pop up, with Nietzsche. It's not going to stop. Each time I read through these, all of these names, this pantheon of great thinkers comes to mind, kind of challenging what is being optimistically presupposed by quite a few of these theorists. So being the natural sky, come from the school of skeptics, not in a negative sense, but it's great to have an optimistic idea, but pragmatics must play a part if something optimistic is to actually become material. So as I go through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the poem that the gentleman wrote in my next post, and I'm going to be working over the weekend just with the theory predominantly, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about the one post. It was a very circular moment, it was a very odd moment, so I'll talk about the gentleman I met, the locus of the poem, try to tie it into some of the theorists, and then what I'll do is I'll just post a couple citations, but I'll talk more with, I'll be working more with the poem directly in this case. I may come back and actually do a hardcore analysis of this one particular poem, just because it seemed to stand out just from the event, which is random chaos, and I know we impose order on things to elicit meaning, so my elicited meaning is that this poem stood out just by chance. So because it kind of stood out, that's the poem I'm going to choose to work with, just because it's a little bit of a mirror poem for me. It's a little self-reflective, it's very personal. A lot of these poems are more objective, where I'm observing, but this one actually has me in it, it has community in it, the theory is brought into it, challenge some of my beliefs, and then it kind of can be held up as a mirror to people who read it as well. So, and it's been read a few times and had a few comments on it. So that's my plan for the rest of this weekend starting today. So I'll come back on. My next post is going to be about working with this poem in particular. Nothing I have is scripted. I decided to actually do this project unscripted. So if the tapes seem raw and I double back and digress, that's because that's naturally how I think. It's kind of a conversation with the poetry, with the theorists, with community, with myself. If you give me feedback, it'll continue on with you, thinking towards a larger project. I like clean papers, I like clean presentations, but this one, just because we're dealing with, for me, it's the human condition. I thought it was really important to kind of capture, maybe someday I'll go back and watch these, but actually capture thought in process as opposed to the polished, finished product, because I feel this would leave it open more for conversation, engagement, and challenge. So that's it. That's what I'm doing today, and I will be back with my next post.